Hello and welcome to this session. I'm Raquel Tabullo, Product Manager of Elastic Security. Today we are going to dive into Elastic Security, our AI-driven security platform that goes beyond the endpoint. So in a world where we already know that with the endpoint data is not enough to fight cyber threats, we are focusing now on XDR. So we can cover it's not only coming from the endpoint, but also across identity, network, or even cloud. In this session, we will specifically look at how to get XDR outcomes by leveraging the data coming from CrowdStrike and how to use this data in order to get the full potential of Elastic Security. I would also like to mention, before we dive into CrowdStrike, that we have our own XDR solution, in this case as part of our XDR approach, that is Elastic Defend, that allows you to fight against cyber threats as a unique or sole solution, but also in hybrid environments where it might be the case that CrowdStrike is not able to reach or there are some limitations in terms of coverage. So let's start with the ingesting the data, and from there we can analyze the alert and respond to an attack. The first thing to do, as I have just mentioned, is ingesting the data. So we are in our integration suite, and what we can do is filter by CrowdStrike. And you will see that there are two options because we can ingest threat intelligence data from Falcon intelligence through this integration, but also getting all the endpoint data as well as vulnerability and additional details through CrowdStrike. So in order to do that, what we need to do is first deploying and selecting the best solution for us. There are two options. In this case, agent-based, which what you have to do is deploy the Elastic agent into your environment. So it's going to behave as a collector where you get the data there and it's going to be sent to Elastic Security, but also through agentless, where you don't need to deploy any agent and you just need to add the corresponding API credentials or whatever is required depending on the type of integration. So we can see that there are multiple. The API one, which is the basic one and contains fewer or less details than, for example, Falcon Data Replicator, because it's mainly about alerts details. And so we have as well even stream, but the one that we will get all the telemetry and all the raw data will be through the Falcon Data Replicator or FDR. In that way, through FDR, you will be able to use the full potential of Elastic Security, like attack discovery, analyzer, the AI assistant, and way more. So after adding the data, what we can do is check in all the dashboards that are part of this integration package so that we can get an overview of our current environment. So we can get from here some statistics. There is a menu, so you don't have to switch to the previous view. By clicking here, you will see a new dashboard. But if you want to deep dive into the alerts, let's move into the alerts view. So in this case, I have already filtered by event module, so I do not focus in other noise that from other sources, as in this case, we're just focused on CrowdStrike. So just by a quick view, I would be interested in this WMI alert. So let me open that and let's verify what are the details with respect to this alert. So it seems that the process that triggered this alert is this Windows utility, which could be legitimate. So this made me think that could be some living of the land technique or something similar that the attacker used. So through this Windows utility, these MOF files are registered in the WMI repository and it will automatically execute. So there could be some way of persistence. So if this MOF file contains a payload, well, the attacker will be able to persist in that specific system. So what I will do is like we can review different alerts and so, but what I will do will be analyzing the event through Analyzer, which is a process tree. So I can go as well through Analyzer preview, that it's after the session viewer, but I have it open already in another tab. So let's move to our process tree and see what we can do there. If we see now, there has been Falcon service being executed and somehow there is an alert there, which looks very weird because this could be the process that generates the alert, but not the one that triggered an alert. So that is suspicious enough for me to keep investigating I can see that there have been some process after this that they were terminated. So it's very weird. So I will make note of that because it looks to me that there could be some tampering. So in order to do that, let's jump to our main view of the alerts and the review in depth what we can do next. So now that we are in our view again, what we can do is adding that specific alert into our timeline and see if there is something else. So we can modify the timeframes if we are interested in it. So maybe I want to put, I don't know, since the very early in the morning till there. So we can update that and see if there has been something different. So I'm going to add this, and I see that there has been 3 alerts already. This looks like suspicious because if this was something normal environment, I will have other scripts or so, and it looks like it's always the same. So maybe the attacker is attempting to do this tampering, for example, that we saw before. We can save the timeline if we want to and call it demo, let's say. And I can start adding more details, so I can go in depth into this specific username and so, but and see if this user has been compromised, for example. But one of the things that Elastic provides as a very cool tool would be attack discovery. So attack discovery is an AI solution that analyzes all the alerts following this XDR approach. So it's not unique to a specific source. It analyzes all alerts in minutes through AI. So you can schedule that so that you don't have to do it manually. And in that way, we can put like every hour, for example. So every hour attack discovery will launch. It's going to analyze if there are new alerts and add them into an existing discovery or create a new one if it's not related at all. And apart from that, you can also create cases so that we can add some automation, send a notification on Teams, on Slack. So once attack discovery is launched, it's going to start analyzing those alerts, and we will see that, the thing that our hypothesis was right, and we can see that there has been some persistence through this registration. So we can see all the in-depth details about the attack chain, and of course, seeing it graphically through the MITRE ATT&CK framework and see the steps where the attacker was successful. So once we have a better idea of our incident, what we can do is creating a case. So we start adding the details there or adding it to a new one. So we add it, let's create a new one and call it demo. And then we can add some details there, like demo. And we can change the severity. In this case, it's high. Let's put it high. And we can create the case. So once the case is created, we will see that it's been added the attack discovery as such, but we can always add new alerts or add nodes, assign it to someone. So at the end, it's more like an incident management tool to keep track of all the progress in terms of the investigation. Once we have our details tracked, what we can do as well is asking our AI assistant, because I don't know what to do next. So let's ask the assistant, and I would say that who is the right person to contact, and let's see what it responds. Or you can do that in terms of, I don't understand this alert, so it doesn't have to come from attack discovery at all. You can ask for support to AI assistant at any time. So at the end, the incident response manager for this case is Sarah Johnson. So how AI was able to get that? Through our knowledge base. So at the end, we added that information in Elastic, so the AI assistant can use it. So there are different departments in my company, and the incident manager is Sarah in this case. So something to note is as well that we have our Elastic Managed LLM. In case you don't have your own LLM, you can always use that. So once we have that and we are clear enough in terms of what to do next, who to contact, and so, we can do some threat hunting and also respond against the attack. So if I'm interested in this process, for example, and seeing if this has been executed somewhere else or in another endpoint or so, I can go to Discover and filter by process name and type it up there. And we can see that there are no other events associated to it. and it's just one endpoint. So at the end, we don't have any other endpoints compromised. In order to respond against that, I can go to my endpoints, take an action, or directly through alerts. So if I go through the alerts, it's just a matter of selecting the alert and taking an action against that. So let me review and click there. So we can respond. We can as well isolate the host if we want to. And of course, send commands. So isolate, respond, and release, of course. And in terms of respond, there is an option to send remote commands. So through run a script, but also we can add files in case we have something in our CrowdStrike library. So in that way, the sky is the limit in terms of responses. And it's just a matter to type the right command that you want to use because this is connected remotely to our CrowdStrike instance. So you don't have to switch to the CrowdStrike console in order to respond. So that's everything we want to cover today. I hope that you liked it. Just to wrap up, from Elastic Security perspective, we don't want to focus only on the endpoint, in this case on the CrowdStrike telemetry, but we want to do the full analysis of the incident since patient zero till response using this XDR approach that allows you to analyze all the sources into one place. So thank you very much and hope you liked it. Bye.